One particular question that has come up over and over again concerns my drawing style, specifically my character design, and why my characters have such full, large, thick, juicy lips. And I get it. I see how one would see the way that I design characters like Grady and Levi and really all my black characters and wonder if I'm being insensitive or self-deprecatingly perpetuating the way that historically white people have exaggerated the features of black people. Going back to like the blackface minstrel tradition in America, or racist depictions of black features in classic, even Warner Brothers animation like Coal Black and the Seven Dwarfs, or even Bugs Bunny. But the answer is an emphatic no. Simply put, the reason I draw my characters with such big, full, thick, juicy lips is because I think big, thick, full, juicy lips are beautiful. And quite frankly, I think they're the standard of beauty and not a derivative outlier. So story time. When I was growing up as a little black kid in a predominantly white neighborhood at a predominantly white school, I hated my features, especially my lips. It started in the second grade, Allen Avenue Elementary School in San Dimas, California. At this time, besides me and my brother, Michael, there were two other black kids at this school, and both of those kids were very fair-skinned. A girl named Prudence, and she was light enough to pass. I remember having to argue with some kids, some of the white kids at the school who did not think that Prudence was black. And then there was my friend Kyle, and he wasn't as fair-skinned as Prudence, but he did sort of have that sandy blonde hair trait that some black people have, and so he basically had a blonde afro. So again, uninitiated white kids thought he wasn't black. Anyway, one day, like at recess or something, Prudence and I and this other white girl, I can't remember her name, we were chilling by the railing in front of our classroom. This was California, where classrooms are outdoor bungalows and not indoor rooms like in the South or the East. Anyway, we're all chilling. And then Prudence kind of liked me, I guess, a little bit. And she decided she was going to flash me. She was wearing like this tube top looking thing and decided she was going to flash her little flat, non-existent second grader tits at me. And, innocent little schoolyard gesture. And I will never forget little white girl that was near us. I think she was Prudence's friend. And she was like, "Ew, you like him?" And Prudence was, a little embarrassed and, smiled coyly. And she was like, "Maybe," and the little white girl said, "Ew, but he has those big, ugly lips." And from that moment on, for the rest of my childhood, I hated my lips. Scarred. I was ashamed of them. I would hate my own facial features for the next decade until I would graduate high school and move to Atlanta, Georgia to attend Morehouse College. And literally the first week that I'm there, my self-esteem would change for the rest of my life. So at the end of freshman week in the AUC, the Atlanta University Center, there's this big culminating event called the AUC Block Party. It was this huge party for like the freshmen and freshwomen of all the AUC schools, Morehouse, Clark, Atlanta, Morris Brown, ITC, F. Spelman, everybody. And the freshmen got together after the first week of orientation and freshman hazing and have this block party. So I wasn't at this party. I wasn't at this party 10 minutes before I would meet this girl, April, who I would fall madly in love with and spend the rest of my matriculation pursuing and almost marrying. I saw her at the AUC block party. Our eyes met, and I fell instantly because she looked like my celebrity crush, Tisha Campbell, except April had that brownish blonde hair trait, ironically, that my friend Kyle had back in the second grade. Anyway, but it was love at first sight for me, or at least infatuation at first sight because, we were kids. But I dug up the nerve to go introduce myself. And I remember the first thing she said to me before hi or my name is, the first thing that April said to me was, "You have the sexiest lips." I was floored. I don't know if if this moment had any impact on how desperately I would fall for this girl, but it certainly had a cataclysmic impact on how I saw myself for the first time since I was 7 years old. I felt beautiful, I felt seen, I felt worthy, I felt comfortable in my own skin, and for the first time since that devastating moment on the playground, I loved my features. I loved my big, full, thick, juicy lips and my Negro nose and my wide nostrils. And you couldn't tell me shit about how God made me. From that moment on, not only was my self-esteem radically rehabilitated, but I began to celebrate Black features in my art. I literally started this painting series that was inspired by the Harlem Renaissance that I was learning about at Spelman, which my characters had literally no facial features other than dark, jet black skin and shiny red thick lips. I was isolating the feature that I suddenly found the most attractive and using only that to express emotion and communicate personality. And as I began my animation career, big, full, thick lips began to be the hallmark of my character design. So there you have it. That's why Grady and Levi and Zion and Baxter and literally Kasha and Nandi and all the characters that I have designed in my personal work have these big, beautiful lips. Come check them out. Let me know what you think over at Patreon, where we're streaming exclusively RuPaul Presents How We Got Over.